Hey guys, it's Ozzy from Old Dixie Loaders and Supply. Hey, we get a question in quite a bit and we wanted to talk to you a little bit about this question. We get people who come in and say, hey, what gun should I get for me? What would be the best gun for me? And really, that question is very individualized. So we tell people the best gun for you is the one that, number one, feels good in your hand when you put it in your hand, feels really comfortable. Number two, you can rack the slide. If you can't rack that slide, you can't chamber around, that gun is not for you. Number three, can you pull that trigger? If you can pull that trigger, you're good, but some revolvers have a really heavy trigger pull, and it may be very difficult for you to pull that trigger. So that's not a gun for you. The fourth thing is, can you mitigate the recoil from that gun in order to keep your rounds on target? And the fifth thing is, can you consistently hit your target with that gun? That's really important. You know, some of that you're going to need some training in order to kind of work with, and that can kind of be overcome a little bit. But the one thing you can't overcome is if you can't rack that slide, if that gun just doesn't feel right in your hand, you know, if you can't pull that trigger, you know, those are all problems. So what do we recommend? We usually tell people that the caliber really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether it's a 22, you know, 380, 9mm, 45, 44, doesn't matter. Honestly, people who say that a 22, you know, can't be lethal, that's retarded. Think about it. You know, back during the Vietnam era, they were using a suppressed Ruger 22 Mark I to take out high-value targets and sentries quietly. If they weren't effective, they wouldn't have used them. Okay, they're lethal. Really, what makes any gun lethal is you. You need to take time, put rounds down range, make sure that you're proficient with that gun. That means take a good class on, you know, how to use a gun and gun safety, then take some lessons on a gun. But before you get to all that, you need to make sure you got a gun in your hand that works. So go to a local gun show, put your hands on a ton of guns, regardless of the caliber, and try all those things. Rack the slide, pull the trigger, see what works, see what feels good in your hand that you can rack the slide and pull the trigger effectively, okay? Once you decide on a gun that you really like, see if you can go to a range and see if they rent firearms and see if you can find that particular firearm. Go out and shoot rounds, put some rounds down range. If you can mitigate that recoil, or it's not too bad, because you can work on mitigating that recoil with time and good grip. But see if you can handle that gun and try to get rounds into that target. If you can do that consistently, that's a good gun for you, okay? But there is nothing that is a substitute for training and time on that trigger. Putting rounds down range as much as you possibly can, okay? So I hope those things help you. Again, caliber doesn't matter. You can kill somebody just as dead with a 22 in self-defense as you can with any other caliber, okay? But it's important that you can consistently hit your target with that gun. And the best way to do that is to make sure, again, that the gun feels good in your hand, that you can mitigate that recoil, that you can rack that slide, and that you can pull that trigger, okay? I hope that helps. If you guys have any comments for me, please put them down in the comments section and let us know. We do read them, okay? So I hope you guys have a great day, and thanks for listening.